When I'm selecting the images, I like to add them as favorites. Why? Because it helps me to keep them in one folder later. And so it saves time, because when I open the editing app, I can just go to my favorites and they're all there. So I don't need to scroll again through all the images and try to find the one that I like. Here are my favorite images. What's possible to be done is just, of course, to edit images in this mode that is just in your phone. You can always do, exposure, a little bit of overall brilliance, some highlights. You just have to try different things and see what it does to your photo. But I guess that's why you have this dot in the middle. And I would just keep it, a little bit, just keep aware of what it does to the image, and just don't overdo it so it doesn't look unnatural. Contrast, that would also be maybe a little bit. Brightness, we don't need it so much, it's quite bright. The saturation, is quite nice sometimes, if you have really colorful picture. Vibrancy as well is more for colors, but then keep in mind that then your face might be a little bit, too red. Just some tint, but again, we will use grading later. Definition, which adds a little bit more, definition, but then that definition also makes your skin not too smooth, right? Noise reduction, well, we don't have so much noise. Vignette, right? Vignette, sometimes I use it, it kind of adds a little bit of and my favorite filter, of course, I use this, dramatic warm filter, but with this, let's say if I would be editing only with this app, this would be my, I guess my edit. Maybe I would make even the skin a little bit brighter. So no, it's too bright, because then you see here's already overexposed. It's already overexposed. So that would be like my really simple edit. But what I would normally do, I wouldn't grade it yet, right? I would just also work with different apps. So let's try that, right? So I'm going to InShot. You have some free options and you have some paid options of InShot. Now we're going to favorites. And I'm heading, let's take a different picture, right? So here what you can do, you can go to Peachy, and then you can start editing, right? What I would use from here, sometimes I use the makeup. So you can even use the set of it, which is it doesn't always, it's not always natural, but sometimes it can look also pretty cool if you don't really wear any makeup. Right? It looks quite good. We can add the makeup, right? So we can just add some contouring, which I love doing, for your nose and your cheeks. Basically, it's like, putting the makeup on. You can also just do the full set. So then it's also, sometimes it might be a little bit too much. But it's, if you don't wear any makeup, and then you just want to just add a little bit. I think it can work, right? So from this one, I use this tool. Then reshape. I don't use too much of that. Maybe let's say here, if we would want to, some detail, like if you want to curve your back a little bit more, or I don't know, lift your breasts. Just again, don't do too much. You can always come back, or sometimes, let's say if you have a double chin, and you want to kind of arrange that, then you can use these things. Then, of course, you can make the smoother skin, but again, I would be just careful with that. Dark circles, well, we don't have too many, but we can work a little bit on that. Eyes, like details of your eyes, we can just also enchant that a little bit, so then the eyes are a little bit more sparkly. What I use is a heel. So heel is always good, for little tiny adjustments. You basically delete what's not needed, and just try to do it by tapping. because if you do like two big lines, it's just not going to look natural. So the good thing is that you can always come back. I like to do the matte, matte of the skin, but I'm doing it with different app. Of course, you can whiten your teeth, and you can just also research what works for you. For me, again, I'm using the heel mainly, and I'm using the makeup from this app. But you can also adjust your body, like a body reshape, breasts. It's not really accurate, right? So then for the other one, you need already the paid version, right? This I don't know, I haven't seen, but you see, you can also just change your clothes. I mean, I think it's not exactly very natural, but maybe possible as well. So you have plenty of options to play with. Maybe you can just add it as a highlight. I think it could look really cool, right? So you can just be creative and play with it. Let's see how the red would look like. Oh, it's like a velvet. Maybe it doesn't always look, too natural, but maybe if we add like this makeup, then it can look like something, really maybe more aligned. So you see what you can do. I mean, it's definitely too much, but the idea is that you just play around and don't overdo it, I guess. All right, so that's what I would use from this app. The other app I'm using is Prequel. What I love about this app is that you can edit on a photo and a video. What I use for this one, let's say if I edit it, right, then I usually like to add some grain to the images. So you can you can do the film grain, or you can do somehow I like it. Somehow I like when it's a little bit more texture to the skin. These are already the dust, but somehow I like it when the images are a little bit like matte. Somehow for me it's nice. And then from the beauty, I always use the eyes and the details. So I like how it's, now it will be way too much, but I just like how it makes it, whiter and more like sparkly eyes, right? And I love filters from this one. So basically, again, you have some paid ones and some free ones. So you can totally just be fine also with just free ones. And then again, you adjust the opacity and you decide how much you want, how much of the filter you want to use. Of course, this image has to be also cropped a little bit because I'm holding hair blower. And then, the filters, and then you have effects. So like different effects, you see, so you can just do like so many different looks and things and add more stars, less stars. I mean, this is definitely way too much, but I'm exaggerating just to show you the possibilities. Of course, you can add also, some texture. And I really like the way, that it has a lot of different effects that are really creative. And you can find your brand style by using these. If you always use the same filter, I think it can be like quite cool. And this free. So these are 3, and the one with the stars are paid. So I use also this one. And for grading, I really like this app, VSCO. And what I like about it, you have nice filters. I usually use this one, and I really like also black and white filters from them. So you can add your own, according to your own liking. But I like the filters. I like the grading from here. So then you can press on it and just to see how it looked before. And and for the brand, it should be the same style, the same tone, the same visual reference. So then your Instagram account becomes more recognizable.